in the first, let me get this number right, 17 games, the 17-game regular season.
Mm-hmm.
First 17 games played of the everybody plays 17 games regular season. Let's
say that twice.
That's right. It's off the rails.
Yeah.
First Thursday night game, second Thursday night game.
Yep.
In between a Monday night game, I'm still hungover from like I had a trip to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a stat that is mind-blowing. Cannot believe it. Honestly, would ascribe it to the other team that plays football in New York, but unfortunately for you G-men, you big Blue fans, this is yours. The last time the New York Giants did not start a season 0-2, their head coach was Ben McAdoo. 2016 New York Giants. Yep, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and now the 2021 New York Giants have started a season 0-2. And man, did they earn that one last night with so many mistakes. So many mistakes. They should have won that game laughing last night. They should have won that football game laughing away. Ha-ha. By at least a score, if not more. But it was the usual collection that Giants fans have had enough of. The usual collection of false starts followed by poor sacks taken. The usual collection of turning down aggressive play calling for timid play calling. Who do you put that one on? You put that one on the HC? I know you're clapping. Do you put that one on the OC? Does he have full and complete control of this offense? Or does Joe Judge say, run it twice and then throw it? Because we just want to kick a field goal and go up. Because we've just gotten the ball back after we lost the lead and thought that we weren't going to get it back again. I mean, what the Giants did at the end of that game last night, I still, Giants fans have got to wake up today and say, did that really happen the last, 7+ minutes of the game? Whenever the drop ball last night. Chris, have you ever seen somebody that wide open in a game that would put it up by 10? It's 23-20 Giants.
Nobody in the screen.
Darius Slayton, man, right there. Number 86 in your program, 2 hands on the ball, and I'll tell the radio audience what we're seeing right here. What we are seeing right here is a shot of a Giant wide receiver looking at the ball either come off his hand or it's about to go in his hands because it's so wide open to the point where the out of focus offensive lineman and the rest of his teammates behind him.
That's Kyle Rudolph, 80.
And all the offensive linemen are signaling touchdown because it's so wide open and the ball is there. You know what this is the football version of? Is Swaggy P thinking he's hit that three-pointer and he turns around and he's celebrating it as it rims out.
Also, back in that picture, not a single football team member.
They're all gone.
No member of the WFT in that photo. Look, 0.
It's like they left the field.
Where are they?
I don't know. They're certainly not around the receiver. That would have been a 10-point lead.
You mean they didn't get photoshopped out of the picture?
Then would have to be
there's literally nobody there.
This photograph just absolutely encapsulizes the whole thing. Put this in a time capsule. How did the Giants start 0-2 for 5 straight years? And then on top of it, before that, they started 0-2 in 2013, 14, and 15. Yeah, 2012, their title defense season, they started 1-1. Coughlin started 1-1 in 2012. Ben McAdoo did not start 0-2 in 2016, their last playoff season when they lost to Green Bay after there was that boat trip, as you remember, in between the regular season finale and that wild card weekend.
I think they've only won 18 games since that photo was taken.
I can't even fathom. So Taylor Heinecke, whose praises we are singing today, would have had to really pull a rabbit out of his Heinecke last night.
Nice.
And because he'd have been down 10. And even with all that, even with the Heinecke magic that went down last night, he threw an ill-advised pass, or the Washington football team called an ill-advised pass play, and the Giants picked it off. And with 2 and change to go, they just went into the let's make sure they don't have any timeouts left mode. And it's just one of those, it's the prevent offense. It just drives you crazy. And Giants fans know it so well. Run, throw it. Oh, okay, so you're going to leave him with a timeout, aren't you? I mean, you didn't even, and then you kick the field goal. And when you've got a two-way threat at quarterback who they can't stop. Daniel Jones had a terrific game last night. Running away from the Washington football team, had a touchdown call back because of a holding penalty. Running away from the football team. Saquon, and this is another Giant stat of the night, had a 41-yard run early on in that game.
Yep.
But the other 6 carries around his first 7 carries were for -2 yards. I've never seen someone with 39 yards rushing and a 41-yard long. I should have taken a snapshot of the real-time statistics. I've never seen that. Long run 41, total yards 39. Okay.
How's that even happen?
But he's still on the field last night.
He was.
When you got to run the timeout, one more first down. What are we doing? Run, pass. The free football world knows that's what prevent offense teams do. And Joe Judge kicking field goals on the 5-yard line when you only need 2 more yards to go, and you're staring 0-2 in the face. And he's supposed to be the guy that from the Belichick era and Belichick world that's supposed to make sure that there are no mistakes made, that there isn't a holding call. By the way, not just the one that called Daniel Jones back. There was a stupid-ass holding play where they were 2 guys were essentially tackling a Washington football team member on a punt coverage, and Joe Judge, this is his forte, special teams. 2 guys tackling 1 guy on a punt coverage? What are you doing? It was just so many what are you doing moments wrapped around some terrific football plays. Kyle Rudolph for the injured Evan Ingram. Sterling Shepard. Oh, and I didn't even mention Kenny Golladay barking at Daniel Jones like he has every right to do it.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Hey, Kenny. Again, it's one of those two where you're sitting at home and, you know, Dez frequently would say he's just riling everyone up and from the trying to fire everyone up because he's fired up. And T.O. is just trying to fire people up because he's fired up. And we're just thinking he's barking at somebody because that's what body language when somebody is, you know, leaning into another human being sitting there staring at them, and it sure looks to the audience and people at home that you're being barked at. And you're the leader of this team. This is your team. You sit there and take it. You know, I would be like, but this is not Daniel Jones's DNA. It never was Eli's DNA either. But no, I don't recall any receivers barking at Eli like that, even when he first got there. This is Daniel Jones after the game. Roll it.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, he was frustrated at the situation. I don't really think it was to me or anyone in particular. So I think, you know, we're all good and love Kenny. I thought he played hard and you know, did a lot of good things out there.
By this situation, what do you mean, a particular play in the game? Or?
Yeah, just plays and you know, I got to do a better job finding him in some places and you know, we'll work through it.
So what was he yelling? What was he saying?
He was just frustrated with the situation, and you know, we'll be better from it.
At some point, this has got to come from Danny Dimes, who, by the way, on a touchdown pass last night, threw a gorgeous ball. Like maybe the best pass of his career.
Maybe the best game he played.
Honestly. This one's not on him.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And the new wide receiver, fresh from Detroit, who the Giants shower with more money than anybody else in an offseason, in a free agency period, where wide receivers aren't getting paid, he's going to bark at the quarterback in front of all 90 cameras that Fox has on behalf of NFL Network on Thursday Night Football. And I know it's not in Daniel's DNA, but he should stand right up to him and go, sit down. I got this. Oh, and we haven't even mentioned the offside penalty that blew the whole thing up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
0-2. Now, Giants have a next date against the Falcons. This can get better. Giants were 1-7 last year and then finally turned it around, but, they had the luxury of the rest of the division being terrible, and thus their real estate and location helped them out. They also did have 2 wins against the Washington football team in their back pocket. They don't have that now. Washington, we'll hit later on. I just wanted to get into the mind-blowing fact that the Giants are 0-2 again. And you know what, Jet fans, if you're out there, ready to have your fun at their expense, because that's the way these things go in New York City and New Jersey. Thank God for the Giants. If it wasn't for their 2011 and 2016 playoff appearances, we wouldn't have seen one in the metropolitan area since the Jets in 2010 went to the AFC Championship game. Yep. That's how long it's been. What a dreadful period for New York football. Terrible. Terrible. So many mistakes that you expect Joe Judge from the Belichick world to clean up. They can. It's not over. There's a 17th game, too, on the back end. We'll see how much of a death knell 0-2 is. How many mistakes did they make last night? How many? And Washington, they got out with the win. Heinecke looks like he can be a problem for a lot of teams to defend. You're seeing a lot of the guys who are playing the sport were tweeting about him. He's caught the attention of a lot of folks in the league with his ability to throw and run. And the way I took Heinecke's performance last night, if I'm Cam Newton sitting on the couch, I am not looking for that 202 area code lighting my phone up. Not at all. Didn't look good in the first quarter. I was texting you. I'm like, maybe Kyle Allen needs to warm up right here.
Yeah.
Because the Giants had shown up. They showed up like that. They were, they came out with their first 15 scripted. Second straight week, an opponent went into FedEx and scored in their first 15 scripted, which is something that I'm sure Ron Rivera is going to be talking about with Jack Del Rio moving forward. And last night, the Giants made some nice plays, but they just couldn't sustain it. And then when it came time to be aggressive, they weren't. Graham Gano should not have that many field goals on a night. Man. You should put it in the end zone. And when it's in the end zone and the receiver has it to put you up 10, he's got to catch the ball. And they overcome the loss of their center. And they overcome a lot of these mistakes. And they are up. And the field goal kicker to win it misses. Hold on a minute. Flag on the play. Are you kidding me?
The guy lined up on the ball.
How do you jump?
Is offsides.
So the last two,
right.
Last two, and I just wonder again if this is just because it's early in the season, but the last 2 nationally televised games, right there on the line of scrimmage, we saw a quarterback hard count
on the foot line,
and then we saw a defensive lineman jump off sides over the football. That's why I'm saying anything can happen. We've already seen it. And boy, we're going to have an extra week of football to see more of this craziness. 17 games into the first, everybody plays 17-game regular season, and it has been just off the rails. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.